It's June 14th. I just wanted to post an update about our family as we continue to go through our process of recovering from the loss of our son on May 4th. Not gonna lie, the last couple of weeks have been tough. We lost a close family friend on the 1st of June. He passed away 4 weeks after AJ died to the day, and um, he died too young at the age of 50, and really gonna miss Jason, and it's been tough to go through that process on top of the grieving that our family had already been doing. Um, the one thing that I did want to share that's kind of interesting, we've spent a lot of time as a family racing motocross and being around motocross, and when you do motocross, one of the only ways that you communicate with the riders while they're on the track is with a pit board. And a pit board's basically like a whiteboard that you hold in your hand and you hold it out and write things on the board for your riders as they go by. And one of the common things that you see on pit boards is the word breathe. And that seems like kind of a ridiculous thing that you'd have to remind someone to breathe, but it is can be a real problem for anyone who's done endurance type of athletics. You get into a mode where you forget to control your breathing, and you start to um, lose your strength, and you start to really struggle because you aren't breathing properly, and you aren't keeping yourself uh, breathing right. And one thing that I found in my faith over the last couple of weeks is that I forgot to breathe. I got to a point where we had just gotten busy. We had missed church a few times. I was busy and didn't spend the time that I should in devotionals and in the Bible. And yes, it doesn't seem like much to go for 8 or 10 days without breathing, without doing those things to refresh your spirit with God. But when you're vulnerable, when you're damaged like I am right now, it doesn't take much. You can let those things seep in pretty quickly. And I actually reached a point where last week I had a day when I just barely made it out of bed. I just was overwhelmed. But the good news is that we're able to recover from that, and just wanted to share some of the things that have really helped me to catch my breath again, so to speak, and to get going again. One of those was just to get plugged back into church. After missing a couple of times, we got involved back in the groups that we were, and kind of made a mental note between my wife and I that we need to be deliberate about going to church. Second thing is that we, I was very intentional about reaching out to some of the people who have been there for me through this experience, and to talk with them, and also to lean on my wife whenever I was struggling so much. And that's tough for me to do. It's not natural for me to want to talk about my feelings with other people, or to lean on my wife. Usually I like to consider myself to be the one who provides support, but she has been a tremendous rock for me over the last couple of weeks, and just has been wonderful to help me through the dark days. And the third thing that I did that was just really basic is just become intentional about at least starting my day every day with doing a quick devotional. I've been working through a devotional called Grief Bites on the YouVersion app, on the Bible app, and that's been another good thing for me, just to be intentional about that. So we continue to work through the process. And one other interesting note, I actually didn't really intend to do any more of these. I did the first one kind of just as an update on the service that we were needing to post online, and then I did a second one a couple of weeks later, and I really felt like I was kind of done with doing any kind of vlog updates. But I've had a couple things happen over the last 24 hours that have really just kind of made me feel like I needed to do another one. And one of those was that I went back and listened to one of the sermons that I missed whenever we skipped church, and that was a sermon at our home church at the Quest in Royce City, and it was a sermon on dangerous prayers and praying for boldness, and it really made me feel like this is something that I'm doing that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone that I'm bold with. And the other thing was just being at Jason's memorial service yesterday. I ran into a few people who gave me kind words and told me that they'd enjoyed listening to some of my thoughts as I go through this. So I don't know if this is helpful to anyone else out there, but I just wanted to share that we're continuing to work through this time in our lives and working to find our new normal without our youngest son. And just appreciate all the prayers and positivity that we've gotten from everyone. God bless. Thank you.